When the same problem keeps happening in caregiving and nothing you say is sticking, something has already changed. And until that change is recognized, you will keep having the same conversation over and over again. This is a situation where something has changed and a decision is now required. You are on the phone with the bank again. They are asking questions you have already answered before. You can hear it in their tone. They have gotten another call. Your mom has called them again. She told them you are not her daughter. She told them she doesn't understand why your name is on her accounts. And now they're asking you to confirm everything again. You hang up, and before you can even put your phone down, you're already thinking, what is she going to do next? This isn't a one-time incident. It is happening over and over again. Your mom is questioning who you are. She's telling people you do not belong on her bank accounts, and she calls the bank. You step in. You explain. You fix it for now. And then it happens again. It gets handled in the moment, but what you're doing isn't holding because nothing is stopping her from calling and undoing it. So you keep trying to manage it. You explain it more clearly. You reassure your mom. You remind her who you are. You walk her through the accounts again. You try to keep things calm so it doesn't escalate. And all of that assumes that something is still working. It assumes she can understand what you're explaining. It assumes that she'll remember what you told her later on. It assumes that if you say it in the right way, she'll stop calling the bank. But that is the part that is already breaking. She doesn't recognize you as her daughter. She is saying it out loud to you and to other people, to the bank. And when she speaks to them, she sounds so certain, so clear, so convincing, enough that they respond to her. Your mom can still pick up the phone. She can still call, and she can still ask for these changes to be made. However, the accounts still need to be protected. Her bills still need to be paid, and her money still needs to be managed. That reality hasn't changed, and she can no longer reliably recognize the person she assigned to handle those accounts. And she is actively challenging the very thing that is trying to protect them. So, work still has to happen. Nothing is stopping her right now from interfering with it. This is no longer just a difficult conversation. This isn't explaining things better. This is now a decision who actually has control over those accounts. Because the requirement to protect and manage her financial accounts is still there. But your current setup allows her to undo it. Caregiving is a system, whether we have defined it as a system or not. Our decision is no longer, how do I get her to understand why I am on the accounts? The decision is now, what needs to be in place so that these accounts will remain protected, even when she tries to take you off the accounts. This isn't a communication problem. This is a decision about who has control over these accounts. And if that decision isn't made, this pattern will continue. She will call, the bank will respond. They will believe her, and you will have to step back in and fix it again. And then nothing will happen again. Nothing will stabilize because the same point keeps breaking. At each time, the risk is not going away. It is repeating. A decision is here. It's just not been named. You can see the problem. You're responding to the problem, but response is not the same as a decision. And not deciding is still shaping what is happening next. If you are hearing this and recognize your own situation, then you have a decision to make. Because what is happening now is no longer being carried by your current setup. And until you make that decision, this pattern is going to keep repeating in the exact same way. She will call, the bank will respond, they're going to believe her, you will step in, you fix the problem, and it will happen again. Now, if you want to stay connected to this work, go to thinkdifferentdementia.com. But for now, look at what is happening and decide what has to change in your own situation.